a little bit of Dallas Rag by Coley Jones and his Dallas String Band, as it was called in those days, and they actually played it on mandolin banjos. Not ones exactly like this though, because this is an English one, made by G.Houghton, I believe. And judging by the style of it, it's probably pre-war, but he was one of the few banjo makers who managed to keep going through the war years, because he reduced the quality of his work, his metal and his woodwork, because everything was needed for the war effort. Anyway, this is sort of a traditional mandolin banjo, if you like, in as much as some people call these a banjolin, I guess, although I use that term just for the 4-string version. It's got a traditional slotted machine head with traditional worm and pinion machines on, which seem to work alright, although I must admit, when you're working with strings at this tension, it always takes a bit of heft to get them up to pitch. The neck is a nice bit of walnut, which is, having had the lacquer, I think you can see in this light, worn down, it's polished, it's got a very nice, now this is what I call a patina, not the antique dealer's patina, but patina caused by people's use of the instrument. It feels very smooth and workmanlike there. The tone is not absolutely great on this. I've just restrung it. The tone is not absolutely great on this because it's an old head. It's an old, and although we've got it as dangerously up to tension as we can, it's not great. So I think it could use a new head, and I think you could probably get a plastic head that would fit this and make the tone a lot crisper. I think it's probably about 10 5/8. Although when we're talking in head sizes, you have to use 16ths, remember that. What else can we say about it? It's got nearly all its original hooks and nuts on, and there's a few odd ones which I've placed them at the bottom end where the tailpiece is, so as you don't really notice them when they're down there. But they're not that odd, they're a fairly good match. I put a modern tailpiece on here, frankly, because the original tailpiece, which is like a very narrow fishtail, is a pain to restring. You've got to loop the strings through, and it's a real, yes, it's a pain. 8 strings. This is much easier. You've got 4 little holes. You can big enough to get 2 strings through each and lugs, so it's much easier. You can actually alter the angle of the tailpiece should you wish to. I'm trying to show you that the action is not that bad, and to some degrees this is down to the fact that it has a neck brace. I don't know if you can see how that works. It's a brace which has a bottle screw in. It's 2-part brace. It has a bottle screw in the middle. A bottle screw, for the uninitiated, is a screw that has reverse threads on one end, so that when you screw it, it tightens one up from that end and then tightens one up from the opposite end. So it's got like opposite-ended screws that work and draw the tension up. So it stops that, gives that little bit of extra support there, stops the neck bowing up under the tension. The other thing I should mention about this, as well as the fact that it's got mostly all its own hooks, nuts and lugs, is that one of the things that Houghton did that a lot of other makers didn't do was he was one of the first on the scene with chrome plating. So this is chrome plating as opposed to the earlier nickel plating that used to take place. So there we have it. I've more or less told you everything about it, other than the frets are a trifle worn, they're way off needing replacing, but they are a trifle worn. I know this because I had to examine them in the process of dressing the frets, because on an old instrument like this, the frets, the wood shrinks away from the frets, leaving nasty sharp ends on there, so you need dressing off, levelling off, filing off, so you've got nice polished neck you can zoom up and down with. That's wishful thinking. It's also had a new nut. It's had a new nut which I think is real ivory. I could be mistaken. I didn't replace the nut, although I did adjust the action on it because it was a bit high. Anyway, there we have it. Houghton Mandolin-Banjo, about 10 5/8 head. Could really use replacing, but it is just about playable as it is. And it's nice, solid construction. Doesn't really need any major thing doing to it, really. You might feel like refinishing the neck, but I think that feels quite nice there in the natural wood that's polished away. Anyway, I'm going to finish off with a little bit of Irish stuff by default. It's probably the only one I can remember off the top of my head. Off to California in the morning. Thanks for looking. If you fancy it, give it a punt on eBay. See what you think. That's what we had, a little buzz there. Just realised what it was. One of the strings jumped out of the bridge there while I was manoeuvring it round. Bear with me a sec while I reslot it. There we are. Let's see if that's okay now. They always sound out of tune when you play the strings open. Let's hope it sounds more in tune. Key change. I lost it. Let's call it a day at that. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye now.